You light it, it tips, and then suddenly your fireworks are going straight into your neighbor's garage. Let's not do that this year, Grayson County. Let's not turn our home fireworks show into a 911 call. Welcome back to the podcast, Grayson County. I'm Lieutenant Jeremy Cox, and so today we're talking all things fireworks safety because it's 4th of July coming up. And so we have a special guest from the Denison Fire Department's Fire Marshal office, Deputy Fire Marshal Landon.
Well, thanks for having me, Lieutenant Cox. I'm enjoying being here.
Awesome. So, what are we talking about? We're talking about fireworks. So let's start with one of the most common misunderstandings. Fireworks on the 4th, they go hand in hand. People, you can't drive around Grayson County without seeing a fireworks stand somewhere, or somebody knows somebody who runs one. And so, they might be shocked to learn that it's illegal to shoot fireworks inside of some jurisdictions. I think just like the city of Denison.
Oh, absolutely. It's illegal to shoot inside the city limits of Denison. But you can, outside and in the county. It is legal there, but yes. It's illegal inside the city, yes.
All right.
And we do get a ton of calls for fireworks every year.
So do we at the sheriff's office. Our dispatch gets just a ton of phone calls every year about fireworks. Of course, a lot of times people mistake them for gunshots, and they'll report those as gunshots. And so that can cause a large response by local law enforcement. And so just remember, when you are hearing those, it's the 4th of July. It's probably fireworks.
Most likely, yes.
Yeah.
Denison does have a non-emergency line, so you don't have to tie up 911. Since 911 is already busy with these other calls, we'll have medical calls, we'll have all these other things going on at the same time. 4th of July is typically busy for us, a very busy day.
Yes.
But they do have a non-emergency line that's it's 903-465-2422, and hit option 1 when you get in there. But that will take you to the non-emergency part of dispatch, and you can tell them my neighbor's shooting off fireworks or what have you. If it is an actual emergency where something is on fire, we want you to use 911.
Absolutely.
Obviously.
Yes. And that's a good note to make sure that people understand, just because they're hearing fireworks, that doesn't mean call 911. It is maybe very important, but is it an emergency in the scale of, do I need to tie up this line when somebody may actually need medical help?
True. The dispatchers are already busy enough as it is,
yes.
And they're fielding a lot of calls. So this helps prioritize the calls that they need, get dispatched out early, and something they can take as a nuisance call.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. Kind of prioritize those things, triage them. So, a lot of times, this always starts with family gatherings. People get together, they maybe have everybody come over for a barbecue or something along those lines, and then somebody shows up with fireworks, or maybe that was the plan all along. But one of the things that often gets introduced into this situation, which fireworks don't blend very well with, and that's alcoholic beverages. People start to, maybe they have a few alcoholic beverages and then they want to start playing with fireworks. And, that can be a dangerous combination, wouldn't you say?
I agree. So, one of the things that we kind of preach and get out there is that, make sure that you have a sober, responsible adult. And so we would like to have a sober shooter, as you would say, for your fireworks.
So we should put that on a T-shirt.
I'd wear that.
the sober shooter.
Yeah, the sober shooter. I like it. That's really good.
You show up into the backyard. You're carrying a few things, and you got that T-shirt on. You're everybody's friend.
Well, you're the designated shooter then.
Exactly.
So there you go.
The sober shooter.
Yeah, sober shooter.
So what kind of emergency calls does the fire personnel at the city of Denison typically respond to, during the 4th of July weekends?
A lot of times we get emergency, your medical emergencies, burn injuries, injuries with the fireworks.
Yes.
You know, some kids like to hold them, which is never do. So, but we do get those kind of injuries. We get a lot of medical. We do get some grass fires when it's typically drier, which this year we've been lucky that we've gotten some rain, but typically we usually don't. This time of year, it's usually really dry, and it's the ideal time for grass fires. So we will get some grass fires, and those are usually set off by fireworks or barbecues or, you know, things like that because everybody's celebrating the 4th. But, you know, a lot of times the parents are using little bitty sparklers, and they put them in the kids' hands, you know, the little kids, because that's some kind of fireworks that they can do. You know, a sparkler reaches 1,800 degrees. And so it will really burn and all that stuff. So that's the number one injury for 5-year-olds and less.
Oh, wow.
Is sparkler injury. So, you know, that's just one of the things we worry about, you know, and then trying to relight maybe a dud firework too. That, you know, because usually a lot of times the timing is off and you think it's done, it's not going to go. I just don't think it's worth it. Just don't be a hero and try to light it.
Yeah, exactly. Don't be the hero with the lighter. Just soak that thing with water. You know, give it a fair amount of time, and then just soak it with some water because
we always say have a bucket of water beside you, and you can throw it in there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really good idea. Having that water bucket, water source nearby. Yeah.
Oh absolutely. Yeah, a garden hose too. Always a must. So.
Yes. So, some other things that people don't often think about is the effects on their neighbors, right? Because not everybody enjoys fireworks, right?
No.
There are a lot of people and then pets that don't enjoy those.
Oh, absolutely. I was just telling you earlier that I have to get my dogs doggy Xanax for fireworks because it drives them crazy. They don't like the fireworks. They don't like the loud noises. They don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So, but you know, another thing that we don't think about sometimes is like veterans.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which we have a lot in Grayson County.
We do.
And so that can trigger some things for them, and it's just not good. So you got to be respectful of your neighbors and your people that are around you.
You want to have a good time, but you need to be respectful.
I agree.
Absolutely. It's just being neighborly. So, I couldn't agree with you more than what the things that we've discussed. And, for everybody out there listening, make sure you know your local laws, right? Know the restrictions in your areas. Make sure that you're familiar with those. Just like we talked about how, shooting off fireworks inside of Denison is illegal, but out in the county, it's not necessarily illegal. Just make sure you're actually outside of those jurisdictions, because just because you think you're outside of the city doesn't mean you're outside the city.
True.
And then if you're in the county, use common sense, right? Make sure that you've got, like you said, have a bucket or, a water source definitely nearby. Don't hold the fireworks. Don't hand that stuff off to your little bitty kids. I'm sure that they want to play with them, but it's just not safe.
Be a sober shooter.
And be a sober shooter.
Be a sober, responsible adult.
Yes.
That's overseeing children if they're using fireworks.
Yeah. And then, just be courteous to your neighbors, right? Be courteous to those that are around you, and be respectful.
I agree.
All right.
Very good.
So, I think we're all hoping for a good season, a safe season. What do you say?
I agree. I think we should.
Awesome.
I would love to work towards where we don't have any calls on the 4th of July.
Yes. That would be awesome. No medical calls, no fire calls, and no Roman candle fight calls, right? On the 4th of July.
Right.
So, hey, Grayson County, thanks again for checking in with us. Thanks again for watching. And you know what? Thank you to Deputy Marshal Landon for coming by and discussing this topic with us.
Well, thank you, Lieutenant Cox. I've enjoyed being on the show.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
All right. And you know what? Don't forget to check us out here every Thursday at 9 a.m. right here on the podcast. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And you know what? If you have any questions about fireworks, call your local law enforcement jurisdictions or your local fire department and just check in with them before you start shooting your fireworks. And then, as always, you can always find us on social media or on our website at GCTXSO. Once again, Grayson County, we hope you have a safe and fun holiday and stay safe.